Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Proof Ponders with Pros. We're going to have a very special guest today, as always, but it's going to be Tarik. How you doing today?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. I'm having a great day. It's almost over already since it's
Yeah.
different time zones. But yeah, I'm doing good.
Much at the end. And I mean, I got a bunch of stuff that I want to talk about. Starting off with just congrats on your success in 2023 because you had one of the best years of anyone, in my opinion. I would argue like you were up there with the most improved players, the guys like Shattuck and her. And do you have really anything to say about that?
It just happened. Like I graduated from high school just that year. So the first half of the year wasn't the best, and then the second half I just got to travel everywhere and like I was just my free person. I took the year off, just wanted to focus on Smash and see how it goes. It was awesome. I got to travel around America. I was gone every weekend basically. And hey, if that doesn't pay off, then it's not made for me. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that traveling a lot because I have to agree that it definitely helped out with your play. And if you can travel in Smash Ultimate, you absolutely should be doing it, especially if you are from a region that isn't as heavily represented. Like Europe is still very good, and Germany specifically is also very good. We'll talk about them in a little bit, but compared to America and Japan especially, it's just not quite there yet. So, what has like the difference in like kind of American Smash and maybe European Smash that's kind of helped you out?
Specifically, the Americans team plays a lot faster than the Europeans. Like, it's just such a tempo, like a switch of tempo. Let's say it like that, because like Europeans, like it feels like their neutrals like more compact. It feels like there's like real passion behind it, so you don't want to go too fast into the game. But that's exactly what Americans like forget about basically, and just rush you down, like play way faster and like as someone who travels everywhere, like I've experienced like so many different play styles depending on the country or like the continent that you're in. So like especially in America, it's like so much faster than like Europe. It's and also Japan. Like I think like Japan is like the clean optimal kind of play style, but it feels like America, if you don't know how to get out of this advantage, then it's really hard for you to get like successful in America, just because their advantage state is top notch there.
Yeah, I mean, and it even like of the lower player base, it's true, but it's especially true with the higher player base. Look at like Gluttony, Bloom, even yourself, for example. I'd say you're one of the more aggressive European players, but I think that's kind of just Greninja as well. But Gluttony's very patient. He waits for his openings and then he goes crazy. Where you usually have Light, Spargo, even Sonics to an extent when he's playing hot. These guys are
Mhm.
running at you, and it's a lot to deal with. And in Europe, like as you said, the fast players aren't as many. I honestly can't think like who's the fastest player in Europe. Would you say?
Dude, whenever he's not patient, definitely Gluttony,
Yeah, okay,
100%.
I'll give you
But
that.
if we're not counting Gluto, it's probably the Fox player Streaks, but he probably quit by now.
Oh.
He played like he's from London. He's from the UK. He's actually going to Genesis this week, which is funny. But like he plays really fast. He plays very similar to Light actually.
Feel like everyone can play with
But
Fox.
it's like super fast reactions. He plays Fox, so he's obviously fast. And like a player like him is like so uncommon in Europe.
Yeah, it's a lot slower. Not as slow as a region like Japan, but in contrast to America, everything is a lot slower. And
Mhm.
speaking of Genesis, the brackets are out. Really good timing, actually. How you feeling about your bracket?
I so I like my bracket, which nobody else would say in my
Yeah.
position because I actually don't know anyone from first wave of my pools. But then like okay, well, we can look at them up if you want, but
I don't either.
um, yeah, I don't know them, but afterwards it's as far as I remember, it's
It's Rockman and then
Rockman
Onan.
and then Onan, which are both Steve players slash Mega Man. I don't know what else Rockman plays. I think Mega Man and
I think
Steve are the picks.
Pac-Man as well, but it's probably gonna be Steve.
Yeah, one of like it could be Mega Man too because I think Mega Man has a good matchup on Greninja. But that's probably a personal case. Um, but I really like playing in Steve. I think Greninja also is like really even in the matchup, and I played Onan at port priority, which in my opinion was favored for him simply because of the rule set. Because it was only one ban. It was, I think, 6 or 7 stages. I don't remember exactly. I think it was 6. Don't don't contact me on that.
I don't
I'm
think
not
anything
completely
stages.
sure. But the problem is with the Greninja Steve matchup, in my opinion, you want to ban the stone stages because stone is the hardest material to deal with, as Greninja specifically. And if I only have one ban, I can either ban PS2 or Hollow Bastion. Cows wasn't legal, so I couldn't ban that. But like in Europe, I would ban Hollow, PS2, and Cows all three together.
Yeah,
So yeah.
you leave open FD, but it's Greninja on FD, and I think he gets stirred there. And I forgot that Pro Party had that rule set. That rule set was garbage. Thank God we're not using that one anymore. I was not a fan of that one
It's
at
so
all.
unfortunate. It's so unfortunate because Pool Party was the first time I was like in the Washington scene. I don't know what exactly they're called, but like the same rule set is getting used for Battle of BC because it's like right above them, right?
Oh,
Those two tournaments were great tournaments,
I
but the
know,
rule set
man.
is just not my thing. I don't like the rule set, but the tournament itself was great.
I have to agree with you on. It's so tough, especially against characters where the stages matter so much, like Steve, for example. Uh,
Yeah.
but I guess I don't know. He needs it. I will be our excuse. And I want to talk about some of your other tournaments in 2023. Just straight up, what was your favorite tournament of the year?
Of the year. Whew, that's a hard question. uh Let me see.
If you want to
What
sit on that
tournaments
one,
were in 2020?
there's one specific
Yeah.
tournament that I definitely want to ask you about. That's Watch the Throne. What was that like?
Mm,
Because that's got to be an experience.
it was definitely experience. I mean, it was a dream coming true, basically, because like growing up in the Smash community meant like you did follow Summit, and following Summit was just like I want to be there.
Fair enough.
And since Summit stopped, since Summit stopped, Watch the Front is basically like the substitute. It's not Summit, of course, it's their own thing. Which what I miss from Summit is the skits because I personally really like acting. I think like acting or putting up a show is really great. But other than that, it was still awesome. Like just getting to practice with the top players, talking with the top players all over. Like you're one of those people that are interacting with the people that you looked up to in the game specifically, and like it's awesome to be in the same bubble, do stuff together. Like as an example, like me, Zomba, and Light on Saturday, we were all like okay, Zomba was just a substitute player for people, but Light and me were like we have to play good. We don't want to play bad, and we played on a handheld setup until 3 a.m. in the hotel lobby.
I mean, that's the grind, especially at Watchdown. Like that was easily the most stacked event that we've ever had in terms of an
Yeah,
invitational. So the
def-
practice has got to be like amazing there, and that's just such a surreal experience to have.
definitely. It was awesome. Just in general experience, like having a photo shoot shortly for the player cards, and also commentating because
Yeah,
I love commentating personally, but I never get to commentate just because like I'm in this pool. I have to do. I'm probably in top 32.
yeah.
Blah blah blah. Like I can never get a commentary spot ever, and because of that, like I can't go to tournaments and be like, "Yo, do you know guys need a commentator?" Because like there's no resume for.
Yeah.
But then I just got to commentate and watch the front. I was just like feeling it a lot because like the few times I commentate, I always get like compliments. Wow, your commentator's so good. You have a nice voice to listen to. And I got the same thing in Watch the Front. I was like, whoa, all right.
Like at that highest level. I mean, I personally I love seeing top players on the mic because they just have so much more insight into the game. Like other commentators, they might be a little bit better with their words. They're gonna have the play-by-play analysis, but you guys know what's going on. You know why that happened, what the decision making is there, and I love seeing that insight so much. And I have to agree that you were great on the Watch the Throne mic. Do you got anything else
Thank
to say
you.
about that tournament before we move on to the next one?
Uh yeah, in general, it was just a great event. I hope there's gonna be more of them. I doubt I will be in the next one. I mean, I don't know about campaigning and stuff. If I qualify, I'm down, of course.
Yeah.
But campaigning was rough, and I didn't even originally make it and made it in. So
Yeah, you were the
yeah,
sub for Protobonum, right?
yeah, exactly. He got like he was like having health issues, so I jumped in for him
I
a
mean,
few weeks prior to the event. So that was awesome for me, unfortunate for him, but I hope he feels better now.
Yeah, it would be nice to see
Yeah.
him competing in because that guy is definitely different at this game. And I want to talk
Mhm.
to you about just Greninja in general. Just how good do you think the character is?
So personally, I think he's like borderline top tier, or like I don't know how to say it in English, but like he's high tier, but so close to being top tier.
Yeah,
Like,
borderline would
is
be
that the set?
yeah.
Yeah, okay, perfect. Because like he has the tools. I think he's like really fast. He's hard to hit. He has good damage, good damaging combos. He has consistent combos. If okay, it's character dependent, I guess, because like Samus doesn't get hit by up air really well, blah blah whatever. Um, the thing that he's lacking, it's not the out of shield that everybody's talking about because obviously footstool out of shield is a really great option. I personally think it's just great. I just like doing it. And also something. It's okay.
It's a cameo.
Yeah, all good. Where was I?
You're talking about his out of shield and the other weaknesses.
Yeah, the out of shield is not a problem because futsal out of shield is just something that gets it's still getting developed. And like I'm using it in tournament already. Obviously it's not the most consistent if you're not practicing it. I'm not completely practiced in it, but I'm still hitting it in tournament, which is already nice enough. And there's some tech as well, like these double shield thing, which makes it consistent. I haven't tried it out. I don't know anything about it really. But I know Guy, the Luigi, he also plays Greninja, and he's super consistent with futsal shield down there. And he told me to do it, so I mean, at some point I will look into it. Yeah, right now it's not the time.
Yeah, I mean, Footstool Shield is, I think, something that will become very prevalent in 2024. I mean, certain characters already, is like Steve, for example. Steve players have been doing it for a
Hmm.
while, but
And
that's
Zomba with there, and then
Zamba, yeah.
FM as well.
Like, they have really
But
good ones.
yeah, but what Greninja is lacking with is like consistent kill options. At least that's what like is really hard because like you have Fox as an example who also doesn't like his kill options are obvious, right? He has near into up smash, there into up smash, right? Or like near tech chase, down air tech chase, whatever. But those are the two specific hits that you want to avoid as an opponent, right? And that's the same thing with Greninja. Greninja has only down tilt and weak in air. Or yeah, I guess weak in air to kill with. Because weak in air comes into fair and up smash at certain percents, and the same thing goes with down tilt. Down tilt confirms up smash. Fair, nair, up air, whatever you want to do. At some point it will kill. But those are hard to hit because first of all, nair, I guess like is I don't know if I'm just bad, but it's pretty punishable.
I doubt
um,
that's it.
yeah. And like down tilt is it's safe on space, but at the same time, if they like neutral DI already and the down tilt is safe down tilt, it doesn't combo into it. So that's why like you have to be right next to the opponent to actually get a combo hit unless they DI away, because DIing away is already like enough to mess up the combo. But what is more importantly is both of them are also still on the ground. You have to hit them on the ground basically, right? So you can just shield camp Greninja because you also don't have a kill throw. What you can obviously do is condition your opponent and blah blah blah. Like find out kill opportunities, but hey, that's still hard,
It's
especially like because Fox is the fast faller with a small jump, right? Greninja has such a high jump that it makes it hard to frame trap opponents simply because I have to acknowledge how much distance I'm having with them with the jump height.
yeah, exactly. I mean, like you said with Fox, he's a great example because like he can do 50 back airs in a short hop. Greninja has forward air as his option there, but you're not getting away with just throwing out forward airs. And Fox, he has grounded pressure with his aerials, where Greninja just really doesn't have that. And my biggest issue with the character, honestly, isn't even with Greninja itself. It's just that there are better choices. The top tiers in this game are ridiculous, and Greninja's very good, just not quite as good.
Yeah, exactly. Because like his matchup spread is good in general. It's just like it's really hard to deal with that kind of stuff. And
Yeah,
at the same time, like what is Fox lacking with the same things, right? But he has a fast fair, fast back air. I have a slow fair, and then his grab is fast. I think it's frame 7 or something. My grab is frame 10,
the stupid like the slow one. It's just
and it doesn't even hit.
Yeah. Like, and
So yeah,
you had
that's
all of
basically
that
like
stuff
what's
as well.
makes it hard.
You had all
Mm-hmm.
of that stuff with Greninja, and then sometimes up smash doesn't work, and it's like, well, that sucks. It's just like,
Low key. This is what I always say. I think it's the Greninja main's fault because I'm way better at landing stuff in them. That's
maybe
all I'm
it's
saying.
maybe there's like a certain hitbox that like sends it out the wrong way, and I mean, I'll
It
take your word for it
basically,
because it doesn't seem like it happens to
yeah.
you a lot, honestly. And
And
another
again,
character,
some characters are is weird. Yeah.
yeah, another character that I want to pick your brain about is one that you used to play, but we haven't really seen him in quite some time in 2023, and that's gonna be the Kazuya. What happened? Where is he?
Basically, on release, it was just really, really fun to me. I love playing Kazuya. It was just a silly man who was just electric and like, dude, it's funny because like I played Tekken in my childhood at my cousin's house. I just smashed buttons, of
Yeah,
course, but I actually didn't know who Kazuya was.
hey, I
When he
heard
got
that too.
released, I didn't know who Kazuya was. Like, all I remember from my Tekken days was like, yeah, I played this girl who breakdance everywhere, and turns out that was Lucky Chloe, and that's about it. Because like I like dancing, and I mean, whatever, right?
Fair enough. Yeah, the only Tekken character I
um,
know is Kuma, so I can definitely relate to you on
yeah,
that
I
one.
also knew about Kuma,
Yeah,
and like a few other Paul Phoenix, but I didn't know about Kazuya specifically. Um, but yeah, the Kazuya is just like I picked him up for fun, and like then he suddenly became a main just because like I like playing him way more than Greninja. He was just way more fun. Nowadays, it's just like people think they're playing the matchup right by just being in the back and camping, which isn't a matchup, but it's just annoying.
yeah,
And since it's not fun anymore, I dropped the character.
yeah. People of like everyone is like, okay, I don't want to deal with Kazuya. I'm going to camp him. But that's kind of all their game plan is. But it's still hard to deal with because you're Kazuya. You're very slow. You
It's
can't
just
get any
really
space.
annoying. That's the
Yeah,
thing.
it's not worth it. And then especially when you're used to playing Greninja, who is extremely
Who's super
fast. Yeah,
fast? Yeah.
I could definitely see why. So it's more of just like I just don't
A
enjoy him
fun
anymore.
thing.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
respect it a lot.
Because like literally yesterday, or like was it 2 days? It's 2 days ago now. I played in a Wi-Fi tournament on my stream, and like the Wi-Fi tournament didn't have a prize spot, so I was like, I'm just gonna have fun. I'm just gonna be silly on stream, whatever. Be myself. I'm a silly goose sometimes, most of the times. And like I played Greninja against a Shulk main. He two stalked me. I was like, I don't want to play the matchup because like it's really annoying to play the matchup because you have to anti-air and move back, you blah blah blah. You have to constantly react. So I picked Kazuya because Shulk can't camp Kazuya, right? Like he
Yeah,
has a sword. That's about it. I parry him and he's dead. Whatever. I did that and won.
let's go.
So like I'm thinking about maybe like I always thought like I'm gonna play him against Bowser or anything. Like Bowser's just a really bad matchup. Or like Kazuya is a really bad matchup for Bowser. It's like his worst probably. So I just play him for that because it's just really easy. Other than that, I don't know what characters I would play Kazuya against, but hey, I'll find out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna be putting as much time as you are into a character, then you have to enjoy them. And
Yeah, because I can still play them.
listening to
Yeah.
you talk about Greninja matchup charts has made me realize I know nothing about this character's matchup chart. What are like the tough matchups in the current meta that you have to deal with?
So those are hot takes because nobody thinks the way that I do.
Yeah, we don't care about the other ones. You're like the only good Greninja player. We'll talk about other
That
Greninja players in a second. So
true,
I want to know
true.
how you think.
So my personal worst matchup is Wario. Because probably because of gluttony, but I
Yeah.
don't care about that dude right now. Um, it's Greninja's combo food. Greninja dice at 0 for some reason against Waft. Greninja gets edge guarded really easily by Wario, and Greninja is also like it's really hard to avoid getting killed by Wario sometimes
Fair enough.
because at some point it will happen while you're just trying to rack up percents here and there, but sometimes you just get down to dash tag at 120 or dead because you're Isabel weight for some reason.
Yeah. And Wario's edge guarding has gotten so much better. Like that character used to be just like,
So
I'm gonna try to read you off the ledge, but then Gluttony's like, down air is really good. And all of a
down air
sudden
is so
it's
broken.
just a nightmare, especially if you don't have a hitbox like Greninja. Like you have a little bit of
Yes,
variety, but
exactly.
downers are
It's
for
so
sure bad.
annoying. And like and then the problem is with Greninja, Wario's weirdly hard to combo for some reason because he's in that kind of theme where he's like a bit of a fastball but still floaty, like kind of the mix of
It's so
that,
weird.
and that's really weird to combo because either like what I like to do personally is like dash like up air, fast fall but still hit the last hit so I can continue doing a few more up airs so I get like 40%, 50% out of it and still get stage control and stuff like that. Wario is weird because you always drag him down, even though you don't want to. And if you're hitting the last hit of up air, you're not getting a confirm out of it.
Yeah.
So you have to drag him down. And afterwards, like, I don't know if a jab is confirmed, but I always call it a 50-50 if I should grab or jab.
Yeah, it's like, and
So
50-50 when you're usually converting a stock off that is just less than ideal for
yeah,
sure.
exactly. So
Then
yeah, that's super weird.
I want to ask you about the big three, which is Steve, Rob, Game & Watch. He does pretty well versus Steve, at least in my opinion. You said a little bit earlier. He has
Yeah,
the tools to break
I
block, and his mobility is really good.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's even because, like, obviously it's Steve.
Yeah,
Steve is still good. He can rack up real good damage against me. He can obviously up tilt train me. He can't really jab train me. I've SDI'd out of it like a couple of times already, and like against multiple Steves. It's not just one Steve that I'm playing against. And the good thing about the matchup is, as I said, like I don't like stone stages. That's why I banned PS2 Hollow and Kalos. Uh, the good thing about the matchup is fair destroys walls really
yeah.
easily.
As long
A
as you have
fresh
one move on.
fair, exactly that one move. As long as you have that one move, you're fine. Because that fair destroys the dirt block completely, and fresh fair destroys the wood block completely. But you can also just wait like half a second and fair later with a stale fair, and it still destroys the full block. So it's like you barely lose any time. The Steve has barely any time to mine unless you have stone walls or iron walls, of course. Then I need at least two fairs, which takes a long time. It's a
But it's a
full
problem.
second,
Like,
basically.
it's a problem for everyone. When he gets iron walls, next match, it happens. Like,
Yeah,
it's just,
exactly. And and then like I think minecart is really easy to test against because obviously I have the slow fair, but at the same time I'm still able to like react to it and still fair it.
yeah.
I just back him above the cart, which hits him out of it. So it's like not too hard in my opinion. Of course, it could be different for others, but it just feels more comfortable again for me.
Yeah, I mean, I have to agree, especially from watching you play versus Steve. And that's been one of my favorite things about how far this anti-Steve has been pushed is how good people are getting at just hitting Steve in minecart, whether it be like you
Mm-hmm.
just hitting him with your fair or just back airing the spacing of just Steve's head. You have Spargo just back airing that hurt will just up tilt the minecart now. Like it is so cool to see how people have seen this move that was like literally winning tournaments, and it's just not the same anymore. Obviously, it's still broken. It's like arguably the best move in the
Yeah,
game, but
definitely.
it's really cool to see. And then my next one is Rob. How do you think he does versus Rob?
I don't know. I really don't. The thing is, like previously, before like all the COVID stuff happened, I was the Rob Slayer in Europe. Like I
Yeah,
didn't lose to any Robs. Everybody lost to Robs but me. Then after quarantine, like I just didn't hit the same. I lost to Robs, and I picked up Kazuya, won with him. Then I dropped Kazuya. A few times that I played against Rob were just awful. Like it feels like I have to work so much, but if I get hit once, I can literally just die. Which like I hate those kind of matchups. Like I personally like I don't know if it's even, but I think it's even, but I'm not
glad
sure
it's even.
because like the matchup specifics are fine, but it's like so much effort. Well, I can just die. You know, I have the tools to keep up with it, but if I mistake something once, if I make a mistake, like I just die sometimes, and it's like I don't know if it's even or Rob favorite then.
Yeah, it's one of
So
those
it's
things where it's
really
like
weird.
the Raw players started cheating after quarantine, and it just gets so much harder. And Greninja,
Basically,
like,
yeah.
he has the tools. He can juggle Rob fairly well, but juggling Rob's kind of hard. He's just a good juggle character. He has the
That's
weaving
yeah.
in and outs of Nair as well with dash attack and down tilt, but still Rob Nair. They're just difficult moves to deal with. And relative to most of the cast, Greninja does pretty well, but that doesn't mean that he's winning. And I feel like that's the big problem with some of these really broken top tiers like Rob, like Game Watch, and the last one that I want to ask you about, which is Game & Watch. I thought I said Steve. Game & Watch. How do you think he does versus Greninja?
I think I'm always saying it's even, but I think it's even because
Ooh.
This is a real this is a matchup, do or die. Let's say it like that, because like I think Greninja is good at juggling Game and Watch. I think Game and Watch has a hard time actually getting into Greninja because like obviously he wants to go in with an air, right? We all know it.
Yeah,
He wants to go in with an air. The good thing is you can actually whiff punish it, but it's hard with most characters, not with Greninja.
dash tag.
Uh, that dash tech, the god holy
God
move or
sent.
whatever. It's such a good move, and like Game Watch gets comboed really hard. Like there, you can do the up tilt, upper drag down trains, and like people say you can SDI those, you can SDI those. Those are true. Like I just need to follow them. That's about it. Like you can SDI to fall down, but usually I can just catch you or like finish the combo afterwards. It's going to be at least still 40 to 50 or 60%.
Yeah,
Like it's a lot of percent, if not even a kill. Because what I've seen recently is like up tilt, drag an up air into down to the up smash. You can do that for some reason. I've never done it before, but I really want to try.
and even if you only get that 60-70%, one or two more hits and Game Watch is gonna die, especially with Greninja with
Exactly.
that up smash.
And then the thing is like the fair outranges Game Watch completely, so it's really hard for actually Game Watch to go through that. Um, but then obviously like Game Watch edge guarding is really strong against Greninja. Like I remember the first time I played against Mia, and the only time actually, was in a crew battle at Rising Grind. He zeroed to death me immediately with an edge guard at 60 because like he hit me just really far away without a jump. I just couldn't recover. But afterwards, like that was the crew battle where Mia took like 9 stocks or something, or 10 stocks in the crew battle grand finals against lots of top players. It
It
was
was
me,
gross.
Kurama, Mudace, and I think Chase 2 stocks or something.
He is
I don't remember
disgusting.
completely, but it was crazy.
Yeah.
Like he did a lot, and like I held up really well because I started with 2 stocks against him. He counterpicked me basically, and like he zeroed to death me immediately, and so I was 1 stock to 3 stocks 0% basically, and I still almost took both of his stocks, like 2 of his stocks. So like
Pretty good.
it makes me feel like I'm able to just like have the lead, play my lead whenever I get the and like even then, like if he wants to kill me, he tries to kill me. And if he tries to, probably can't.
Yeah.
Because if he isn't getting the edge guard, the other like how else is he going to kill me? He's gonna like sliding F top, but like that's a commitment. That's a big commitment. Because I can just shoot grab it. That is possible. So yeah, it's like it's a commitment. That's why I think it's really even. That's why I really like so weird, but I really want to play Arcola and Mia. That's the thing. Like I really like
Fair enough.
I just want to play them in bracket.
Yeah, I mean, like, those are the best of their character, and those are the ways that
Mhm.
you find out. Okay, how was this match? Because Mia is playing perfect Game and Watch. Like, I don't care what you think about any other Game Watch player. That is how you should be playing that character. He is pretty much making the correct choice or decision every single time. It's not the same for Acola, but that's just because Steve has so many options. So if you can
So
even
many
do,
good correct
yeah,
choices.
yeah, exactly, right. Like Game Watch is like I'm gonna up air again, but Steve, it's like there's 30 things. But if you can even do like decent versus those guys, I think it's fairly telling that's a good matchup. And it's really interesting to think that Greninja is like versus those like big four or those big three, I suppose. He's doing fairly well, but it's just like the other top tiers where he's starting to struggle. But it's just there's not any really other characters in the game that are like that.
Yeah, it's weird. It's really
Yeah.
weird. But that's why I like it. It's funny.
Fair enough. And then a question that I like to ask everyone when they go on the show, because I just want to know is how do you get meaningful practice versus just playing Smash Ultimate? What's the difference?
So I actually don't play the game much. It's funny because like in Smash 4, I played the game a ton. Like obviously we're like more into this game than into Smash 4 back then, but I still have probably more hours in Smash 4 than in this game, which is we or like in my own Switch or
Yeah.
and my own Wii U, of course. Because like I have found VOD reviewing really helpful for myself. I notice how I'm like learning a lot by just studying other players or like studying games basically. And it's just like obviously like I still need to play the game, which I do at tournaments mostly, but it's mostly like I need to know my execution. I need to know how to basically hold a controller.
Yeah,
That's what I
exactly.
need to know. And when I understand that, and when I'm into that, like preparing for my opponents is like my specialty basically. That's why I like coaching other people. I love giving out advice to other people whenever they want to, because like if they need like okay, like Lancelot is asking me as an example, yo, do you have any tips on Mescal as an example? Like I had a coaching session with Ramses, so I gave him those kind of notes, but I would still know what to say even without the notes that I have with Ramses. So it's like all those kind of things I just note down in my mind, and it's really easy. It's so natural, basically.
I mean, that's such a good point as well. Because, like, when you're playing Smash Ultimate, like you said, it's mainly an execution tech as well as just, like, how do I deal with this scramble on reaction, getting more comfortable in scenarios that you shouldn't be comfortable in. But VOD review is so much more important because in VOD review, you're figuring out why you lost. You already know how to win, you know your combos, you know your stuff at low percent, how to get your kill confirms, but you don't know why you lost. And I feel like a lot of players kind of get stuck there. They don't like watching the sets they lose. But if you can understand what you're doing wrong, then you know what you need to do right. And I feel like that's so important.
That too. And I feel like people are too close minded and only want to watch their own set, like only analyze their own set. How I became better is analyzing top players, because like what I loved watching is how Leo played against Meister at Frostbite 2020.
Yeah,
Because like, how do you beat Meister in reverse 6-0?
with the
Not even
Byleth,
reverse 6-0, just straight up 6-0.
with the Byleth the last game too. He
Byleth
stunted
last
on him.
game, just like that. Like,
That was crazy.
it's weird, and like those kind of like I loved watching Zachary. I loved watching. I even loved watching T. Like all those kind of like all these kind of different play styles, different characters. Watching those, understanding what they're doing, that's like what you have to get through. You have to understand what they're doing, and that's the important part.
That's a really good point. I never even thought of that, but you're absolutely right. Like those guys, they've already figured it out, and if you can learn from
Yeah,
them, then you're gonna have so much success. But that also has
exactly.
another question for you. Do you watch just mainly other top pro players, or do you watch other Greninja bots? Are there other Greninja players that you're learning from, or is it lonely at the top?
I never really watched Greninja VODs. I watched Greninja VODs in the beginning, like from Venya and from JW. Nowadays, I don't really, even though I want to. Like, the problem is, it's usually Japanese Greninjas that I can like learn something from,
Yeah.
because the thing is, Anarchy plays really similar to me, in my opinion, and Ice Knight's gameplay also kinda, but it also doesn't make sense to me. So I don't know what to do. That's the problem. And like now, like in Europe, like Alex Yao is gone, I studying is gone, like everyone is basically gone, and I don't know what to do.
Yeah, I
That's why I
see.
usually watch other top players play.
Yeah, I mean, like the main rep before you for Greninja was Leah, and he's just way, way less inactive now. Like he goes to some stuff, but it's just not the same. I think that's a really good point of like playing a character in a similar way, but like in unorthodox style. Like you look at Tweak and Aaron's Diddy Kong. I feel like it's really hard for them to learn from each other. Like obviously they still can, but they just play so differently. And I feel like when you play so similarly, but your tempo is just slightly off, it's really difficult because it's hard to like kind of put that stuff into your game plan.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And then the final, I guess, final two questions I have to ask you is just underrated players from Germany, because as a Smash in general, we're usually just talking about Europe as a whole, and myself included in this one. I'm definitely people that do that, but I want to know just more about the German scene.
Let me pull up the German PR real quick.
Yeah, I'll do as well, actually.
Because there are a few that like I can definitely like mention that are good, but like not known at all.
Yeah, like there's a
This
couple.
one,
Hold on.
there it is. So we all know Quick, obviously,
Yeah.
because like that's the other good Samus, one of the many, unfortunately. um, there's Mukuro Longo. Those two, Mukuro, unfortunately, for some reason, or like I know what reason probably, but is not as good out of country as he is in country. Because if you ever look into Mukuro's results in Germany, he's always
Oh yeah.
top two. Always top two.
I'm a Bowser
Yeah.
player, so I know about Mukuro. That
Oh,
guy
you
is
know him, okay.
incredible. I love watching him. Like
But like
watching
out
Tarik
of
play too.
country, he's just it just doesn't work. Which
Tough.
I suspect either obviously nerfs, like you're out of country for this event, you want to do good. This is not like the one of the many times that you're there. It costs a lot of money to go there. But secondly, what I mentioned in the beginning of the interview, different play styles, different characters, different nations, different environment. Like traveling gives you traveling gives you so much experience, which people don't appreciate because they're only staying home and they don't know what happens in other regions. Which is why I love traveling so much, just because like you can experience so much.
Yeah, and, like it gives you a different perspective on the game, which I feel like is so important. As you mentioned at the start as well, like America's so much more aggressive, and obviously not every single player in Europe isn't going to be as aggressive as Americans. But when you run into those players, you're going to be much more ready. And then for Makuro struggling outside, it totally makes sense. Especially with Bowser, you got to have a lot of chutzpah to play Bowser at the top level. Like you look at Hiro, that guy does not care. He is throwing out the craziest backers I've ever seen, and you need that to have success with Bowser. And if you're traveling, there's a lot on the line. You haven't been there before. You spend a lot of money. It's just really difficult to do that stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And then Longo's starting to travel. He's coming with me to Genesis. He's literally my roommate. Um,
Yeah. He's the
he is
rock,
a
right?
yeah, he's a rock player. He's been playing since Smash 4. He or since Brawl actually. Never mind.
OG.
But yeah, he's just always like at some point he got really good, but right now he's like stagnating. I think that's the word. Like always staying in the same place, right?
Yeah.
And when like I know he can like just move up the spots whenever he just clicks with it more. And that's just like the small step that he needs to actually get somewhere. And I think with all the traveling he does recently, he will get that click very soon.
Yeah,
I'm
and
pretty sure.
I could definitely see it, especially like if he starts getting the crazy stuff down. And the hardest part about improving in Smash, and really anything, is that progress just isn't linear. Like you're
Yes.
gonna hit a brick wall at some point. I feel like people don't understand that. But then once you get over that brick wall, it's like you just speed up. So I could definitely see that. Again, especially from someone that's playing Rob, he's just such a great choice in the current meta. And then that pretty much wraps it up for me. You got actually one more thing. What are your goals
Tournament
for
question.
2024?
Oh, that was
Oh, I
better.
forgot about that one. We'll do that one too.
Okay. So which one first?
Tournament one will do.
Tournament. So I have two to mention because I always love mentioning those. Or actually, let's do.
Just name a couple favorites,
So
whatever.
my absolute favorite for competing every year, or like just this tournament series that I love competing in the most, UFA 2023, which is as always just such an amazing tournament. I love that tournament series. I beat Bloom there again. I beat bracket demon character Modzai as in Pac-Man there. Then as well, I beat. I brought Gluto to game 5 for the first time ever.
Yeah,
I almost reverse 3-0'd him if I was able to take the last game. I almost reverse 0'd Hemke Leo, which is insane to think about.
let's go. Good
Like,
game.
there's all these things that were just awesome, and like they were like in that event, it's just like all eyes are on me when I'm on top 8, or like when I'm on the stage, all eyes are on me. And then at the same time, doubles. I won with Kurama. With like that was our first time teaming. Also, first time teaming with the characters we played. Like we never teamed with a Mario, with Greninja. We didn't drop a set. We beat names like Siski, Andres FN, Gluttony, Leon, like those top player team names, and like we're playing at Genesis again because we felt like we're that good of a team that we can actually win the event. So I'm really excited for that.
Yes, those are so
Um,
sad.
yeah, and then my most favorite event for socializing, which is always also every year. That's why I want a third one, so it's not a serious Region 2023 is such an amazing event. I had a really long losers run in that event. Um, it's always awesome. I brought my girlfriend there for the first. Loved the event as well. She has a lot of friends in the UK, so she had a lot of fun there as well. I have a lot of friends in the UK too. It's just such an awesome event because like we love the English, the British scene. There's chants. If you've never been to a regional event and you ever like consider it, go there because British chants are insane. They always have a chant for so many players. All of their top players have a specific chant only to those. It's awesome. It's
Listen,
absolutely awesome. And like my biggest losers run there, I think I made an 8 set losers run, which was crazy. I got ousted really early there. Um, yeah. I didn't win either of these events, unfortunately. But
oh
now
boy.
the highlight of my career, basically, let's say it like that, kinda, I guess. Okay, two, because I don't want to name a pre-local as my highlight.
Yeah. I mean, pick and
I want
choose.
to mention the Little League poor priority pre-local. Why? Because I won the pre-local without losing a set. I
Oh,
won
yeah.
against JDV in the best of three, which was the first time in about like 4 years that I won against Pac-Man in bracket. Which is funny because the next week after was UFA, right? Or like 2 weeks after is UFA where I beat Modzai. Then I free Odiaura, which is insane, of course, because I think he's ranked 18th in the world or
He's
something.
crazy.
Yes, he's crazy, and I just beat him 3-0 like that. Then I won against Lima 3-1, and I then beat Quick twice in a row and won the pre-local, which was awesome. I love
Yeah.
that. I was happy with it.
That's
And
like
if we
basically
combine
what he needs
those,
here.
yeah,
The
exactly.
wins that you're
I hate
getting.
it. I'm low-key tight because pre-locals are not weeklies or anything. They
Okay.
should low-key count.
Low. I'm honestly, I think for a pre-local, I'd be okay with it.
Me too. But I guess I'm
Because
biased.
I mean, you
But
are
then
biased.
if you combine it with poor priority 8 where I beat Shuton as well, which is also
Yeah.
even better. But the event that I want to mention as a real event that I liked, that I really enjoyed, where is it? It's Rise and Grind. Rise and Grind is awesome. Why?
Okay.
I Dude, there's such a big backstory between me and Rise and Grind. I don't know if you followed me back then, but
Probably.
I had passport issues.
Oh.
So what happened? So it was at the time when Watch the Throne started to happen. I was like 2 weeks before Rise and Grind is gonna happen. I was in my parents' house, campaign starting there. Then I went to I moved out of my parents' house last year in July. I went by train to go back to my apartment where I'm currently at. I lost my travel bag in the train. I forgot it there. Like it's like a bag that you have around your shoulder, and I left it there, which is stupid. I left my debit card in there, which I immediately deactivated. And the only identity, because I lost my ID at some point, I don't know where, but I lost it. My only identity, my passport. So I didn't have a passport and didn't have my debit card. So whatever, debit card doesn't matter. Passport matters here. So obviously the next day, that is it happened on a Friday, so I had to go Monday to like the administratory or like whatever it's called here in my city. Problem is, I wasn't signed up to the city yet. I didn't do anything of that yet, even though I was there for a month or like two already, which is already bad, okay? Whatever. But it gets even worse because I don't have identification, I don't have my ID, I don't have my passport. The people from my city right now have to or have to contact my old city if I'm even real. So I need to wait 2 days to get
Whoa.
information if I'm real, whatever. Like they need to know if I'm real. Then I tried getting another appointment. Obviously, getting an appointment for that kind of stuff is hard. So I got a passport. I got back to some station, whatever, and they had the information, blah, blah, blah. I had to sign some papers, and I immediately asked, yo, I have a flight next week on Tuesday. I need a passport for it. There are 3 types of passports here. There's one, the immediate passport that is only holding up for 1 year, an express passport which is open for, I think, 5 or 4 years, and the real passport that is open for, or like that is up for 10 years. They told, or like the lady that talked to me, she told me, okay, you can just get the instant passport. You just need to wait, like, or you just need to take a picture, give me your signature, give me your details, blah, 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 and you can get it right in like 15 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I did that. I posted on Twitter, was all happy. Yo, I have my passport, everything's saved, yippee! Someone DMs me on Discord and was in German and was like, yo, Tarik, my mom works at the airport. I showed her the picture because I found a suspect, and she told me that passport that you have doesn't work for America because it's a paper passport. Dude. Because the real passports and the express passport have like this plastic thing that you can scan, right? And that's what you need for America. That's what you need for the USA and a few other countries. So the passport that I got, that I paid 35 euros for, which is around like $37 for $40, whatever, is useless. I can't use it. It's not what I need. So I went back on Monday because I was already done. Like it was closed, right? They DM'd me too late. I mean, God bless their heart, they DM'd me. I would have gone to the airport and would have got declined.
Yeah.
Then like I went back to the passport thing, blah blah blah, and like I had a nice man with me. I'd like talk to them. Yo, some lady in the other office, she gave me this, even though this is not valid for the USA. And I showed, like, for that kind of passport, you have to show your ticket because she needs to know if it's a real emergency.
Yeah.
I showed her, and like it says Texas way, Dallas, right? So that's USA. And I guess she ignored it, and he was like, he was visibly mad at it because that ruined my flight, because this is Monday, Tuesday was my flight. I already rebooked my flight to Saturday, by the way. So then he told me, okay, you can have an express passport. I can use the picture that you took there. Don't worry about it. You don't need to take a new picture. I can just take the information that you already have. And I said, okay, thank you. When can I expect the passport? And he said it takes up like from 3 to 5 business days, which is then it's Monday, right? So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's 5 days, right? It should come. Then the plot twist hits again. Because the administrator, whatever it's called, I don't know. English is not my first language. Okay,
I'm just I don't know it
either. The main people that make the passports gathered the information until 12 p.m. on that day. My appointment was at exactly 12 p.m. So my passport starts to be like the information starts to be taken on Tuesday. So 5 business days would be Monday the next week.
Dude, that sucks.
I pray to God that everything would be fine. What happens? Like Tuesday passes, Wednesday passes, Thursday passes. I'm already looking at Thursday. Like you have this letter where you can check, okay, blah blah blah. Then you can put this on the internet, blah blah. Still says work in progress, blah blah, work in progress. I checked in the evening, still work in progress, blah blah. I was like, oh God, okay. Then Friday hits, I wake up, still work in progress, and I'm like, oh, it's so over. And like my girlfriend was here at the time. We're having a long distance relationship. She was here at the time. She was like, oh, don't worry, just one tournament, you'll be there the next tournament, blah blah. Because that was my whole American tour, right? Rising Ground was just to start. And then like I still checked, like it was 12 p.m. at that point. I checked, boom, passport is ready to get picked up.
Let's go.
So I was like, okay, I have to go right now. I don't want to miss it. And she's like, okay, go, sweetie, go, go, go. I need 15 minutes to get there, or like 20 minutes. It's 12:40 at that point. I noticed I forgot to take the paper with me that identifies that it's my passport.
Dude.
Turns out I don't need it.
Okay.
Thank God.
Okay.
Because I forgot the most important factor. The administrator closes at 1 p.m. that day.
Oh,
So
okay.
if I needed the paper, I wouldn't have gotten it.
That would have been tragic. That's gonna be like the most stressful week ever.
It
That's
was. It
awful.
was 2 weeks. 2 whole weeks.
But you got there and you farmed.
I
Okay.
got there and
That's the right.
suddenly, like, literally, I landed and then Cact ordered someone to, like, or like, he got someone from the Rise and Grind crew, basically, who's called Stu the Announcer. I don't know, maybe you know them, but, like, they drove to Dallas, from Waco to Dallas, to pick me up and drove all the way back to get to my pool.
Hey, shouts to those guys.
Honest to God, my pool started and I was like 10 minutes late, but I had a 1 round free. So it was all good. I arrived. I didn't even have my set ready. I arrived. Everything was good. I was there with my suitcase and everything. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't have time to do shit.
You go to the
Like,
hotel.
I don't know where my hotel was. I don't know where I had to go, blah, blah, blah. I was there, had to immediately play, got my controller out of my luggage. Boom, I had to play. And I lost one game that day. Immediately played the cruise battle that I mentioned from Mia. That's the same day, by the way.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, it was like, I was up for like probably like 30 hours ish. And next day, I just suddenly get fifth with who did I win against? Like, I won against Jazzo. I
Against
won
Shattuck.
against someone
Shattuck
Shadig. I
diced the
won against
shoe.
Shadig. I won my first match since 2019 against Glut. No, I didn't win a game against them. UFA was the first time I got game 5 and the first time I won a game after 3 or 4 years.
Hey, big progress. And
See,
then
like, that's crazy. And then I won against Geist as well.
yeah,
Like,
that's another good one.
all those wins are crazy.
At least like you went through all that stress, but at least it was worth it. Like that was probably by
Yes,
the books your best event to date. Maybe like other regional Tarik was also
probably.
really good, but it would have
Yeah,
been like so sad if you just went and got like 49th, like immediately
it would have
upset
been really
after all
sad.
of that.
After
Uh,
all that kind of story, it's crazy to just be there and just be fifth.
yeah, I can definitely see why that would be up there. One of your favorite events. And then I think that's all the time I've got for you today. I won't take any more of it. But what are your goals for 2024? I want to know. What are your aspirations?
I don't actually have goals because I'm keeping myself pretty open because I'm definitely going back to studying this year.
Yeah.
I want to study in university, so I don't set myself many goals. I'm just trying maybe like to get a team. I'm currently a free agent, so I'm
Pick them
looking
up.
for a team. I am trying to do really well at Genesis. I want to win doubles there. That's like my main thing, kind of, just because like I have a lot of pride in doubles.
Yeah. That's, doubles is so
Um,
sick.
I love doubles.
So cool.
Um, that then obviously we have the European majors. I want to keep being in top 5 of Europe. Um, yeah, it's all those kind of goals. Like just can't maintain who I am, just be good as a person, just not lose who I am, and also branch out my stream. And like it's working really well. This is my first time I'm using the face cam in a bit because I'm currently not using the face cam on stream. I'm just having a Hedgehog picture there. And a few clips that I posted on Twitter already, both over 200 likes, which makes me happy. It shows who I am. I have a soundboard on my stream deck finally. I'm using a meta pipe here and there. I don't know if I play it here, you would hear it. But hey, wait. Actually, I don't know. I'm saying it. I can just play it for Discord soundboard.
We could have been that the whole time. We could have keep picking
That's
that up.
it's
Oh,
beautiful. I love it. Like
that's so cool.
I'm just in my element nowadays with
That's
the
cool.
Stream Deck soundboard and just have the time of my life in there.
And I
So
mean,
just me streaming, having fun, doing my studies, and just keeping up with Smash as best I can.
while you're here, let's plug the stream, plug the Twitter. Where can people find you?
On Twitter it's Tarik D, so like Waddle D, and on Twitch the same thing, twitch.tv/Tarik D. I think you can look it up on YouTube as well. It should be the same thing. I'm not active there. Maybe at some point, but on TikTok, I'm trying to do the content there again. Also Tarik D. It's always Tarik D, unless it's Instagram. Tarik IRL. That's the
Yeah.
only part.
And
But yeah,
if you guys want to find Tarik, all of his stuff will be linked down below. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let me know what pros y'all want to see in future episodes. Be sure to sub if you haven't, and we'll see you on the next one. Peace.
bye bye.